The time now is 7:17 p.m. Pacific time. If you're listening on the East Coast, it might be 9:17 p.m. or 1700 hours. Welcome everybody. As you can see, I just got off of work and I want to talk about some channel updates. And before I talk about the channel, before I get into the topic, which is whether or not you have to divulge your social media to your current employer or your prospective employer, before we drill into that topic, I want to talk about some channel updates. So, we'll put it this way. Obviously, I'm mixing around some information, so we can't point down to a specific date. But anyhow, Brian Vinegar, the private security guard that worked at Walgreens in Seattle, Washington, we talked for a long time. I put it this way, a good amount of time. He reached out to me, and I'm honored. At the same time, I'm really frustrated, not at Brian Vinegar, but at the system. I'm really disappointed at the social media system out there, not giving this person a voice in it. And it's like we convicted him without even knowing all the facts. So I have my own policy when I do these social media reviews or I review an individual. I always forecast that person's going to reach out to me, or that person is watching our review of them. And I do so in as fair as way possible. At the end, I asked Brian, review of, was it fair? And he said, yes, absolutely, you were fair and you're professional. If I was being vindictive, if I wasn't being fair, guys and gals, there's no way that he would reach out to me. That's another thing. If we're over here criticizing individuals, we're kind of alienating them as well. We're alienating them as well. That's what I learned, guys. If we're passing judgment on people, they're not going to reach out to you. They are not going to reach out to you. And I feel very blessed that this individual reached out. I don't want to talk too much about our conversation. He said he was going to provide a written statement, basically highlighting what we talked about. The thing is, I don't want to discuss something that he don't want disclosed, right? And honestly, it's not even bad information. I actually forgot already. If you guys heard this additional information, I think that you would change your opinion on Brian Vinegar for sure. Not everybody, but I think most people would change their opinion. I'm sick and tired of people being decided upon in the courts of social media. So I will continue to try to be as unbiased as possible. At the same time, there's conduct out there that's just so outrageous. But what Brian told me basically is, well, I'm not gonna tell you what he told me, but it's like every little detail that was brought up to social media, every single small little thing, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. Not saying I agree with everything. I'm just saying that now it makes sense. Okay, so let's move forward, and we are going to talk about social media. So let me begin by talking about enforcement applicant. Unfortunately, and if you're in security, this is going to apply to you as well, even if you're in private investigations. Even if you're in none of the above and you're looking for work, this is going to benefit you for sure. So we'll start off with police investigations, okay? Police background, pre-employment background investigations. Let's just say that you're trying to get a job with a law enforcement agency in California. Sorry, guys. my understanding of law is based out of California law because I am located in California. I am a off-duty California peace officer. As we speak, everything that I talk is not professional advice, not legal advice, doesn't represent my employer. Does not represent my employer. There could be errors or omissions that could lead to costly mistakes. My full disclaimer. Okay. But I want you to realize that some of the labor codes, well, the labor code that I will be talking about, your state might actually have the same code because a lot of states, they copy and paste code sections from other states. But anyhow, in California, if you're applying as a peace officer, your background investigator cannot ask you for your username, your password. They cannot ask you to log into your social media. They cannot. That would be a violation of California Labor Code 980. During that time when that section was being drafted as a bill, I included that in my book called The California Legal Investigator. At the time, there was a bill to exclude law enforcement agencies, California law agencies. That bill died, so there's no special exclusion for law enforcement. You don't have to disclose that. What we did in the olden days or older days is we had the applicant come in. We didn't ask them for their username and password, but we said, here's Facebook or here's MySpace. Can you please log in? So they would log in, and then you would change seats, right? So you're scrolling through all of their social media content, and you're looking for any issues that conflict with any of the 10 dimensions, the behavior dimensions that California Post looks for when deciding whether or not an applicant is suitable for employment as a peace officer. Sean, what the hell are you talking about? Talk to me in English, please. So I'll give you an example. So if you got all these pictures of you drunk all over the place, doing stupid things, half naked, or just passed out by the toilet, that can compromise your suitability to becoming a peace officer, because it goes to judgment, making bad judgmental decisions. If you're passed out in a bar, you're not able to take care of your own safety, right? So that would be an argument that a background investigator would make. That's the kind of reference that we're speaking about. Hey guys, if you haven't noticed already, I'm on a bumpy county road, so everything is flopping all over the place. So I apologize in advance. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at your smart device. Just concentrate on the audio, please. Okay. As I was saying, they're looking for any issues, right? I don't know, maybe you steal things, right? If you have all kinds of stolen things you sell stolen things on eBay, again, your background investigator needs to look at that. Also, if you got some type of a side gig or side business, that would be revealed maybe on social media. Maybe you include what your side business is. The reason why that might be an issue is because you might not disclose that you have other sources of income or secondary or third employment. That's where that issue would be. Okay. But the last, I think it's 7 years, California employers cannot do that. Also, California employers on the private security side, they cannot require you to log in. Now, those of you who are trying to apply for the federal government, I don't know what the rules and regulations are. I'm sorry, but I don't know. But what I do know is California law, okay? Now, let's just say you decide to keep your social media up, right? You leave all your pictures up, and you probably are thinking now, I can do whatever I want because law enforcement cannot order me or require me to log into social media or disclose my account and information. They can't even ask you to disclose what your like social media username is, or profile information. Okay, what they can do is they can do a public search on you. So that would involve just basically a Google search, and whatever the background investigator finds is fair material. That's why a lot of people should be putting your stuff private. I do have Facebook, but I rarely log in. Like I don't put any updates, and it's personal. Unless I know you, I'm not we're not going to connect. But again, it's something I don't use. Instagram, yes, I'm constantly on Instagram under the Firearms Trainer and a bunch of other accounts. But a background investigator would be able to see all that. I mean, for me, I don't care. I'm already I've been in the field forever. I have my job already. But a lot of you guys, you don't have your career choice. Okay. Now, it's kind of a gray area if like a police officer who's not assigned to the case, all of a sudden, like let's say you're friends with some police officer at a department that you want to apply with. If that person discloses that information, it's kind of a gray area, guys. Which is another reason why to keep your information private and be careful on what you disclose. But I will tell you, through the public, basically like through a public record, you leave your profile open, or you leave it open to somebody who kind of like is trying to screw you over. That person can contact the background investigator and show all of your social media photos that shows you in compromising situations. Okay. It's just things to think about. Political parties, right? I mean, you guys know that I turned conservative since I voted for Joe Biden and Obama in 2008, and then 2011, 12 I had buyer's remorse, and then I changed the Republican. Topic of another story. Your background investigator cannot assess you for what political party you're affiliated with. If you're kind of concerned, you know what, hey, I'm a Democrat, guys, there's no problem. There's no problem with that. And to be honest with you, just give it a couple of years in law enforcement, you're actually going to change your party preference or the way that you think from Democrat to more conservative. Like, you might not just change party lines, but your thinking process is definitely going to change when you see the same prisoner coming out right after you book them. But that's topic of another story. Okay. So let's talk about when you're required to disclose your social media to an employer. If your employer is conducting an internal affairs investigation, and this is for private security as well and law enforcement, let's just say you're in the job already, right? Or the career that you wanted. If you have committed like some type of workplace misconduct, or you committed some type of crime, your employer can require you to disclose your social media. What that means is let's just say your employer calls you in, hey, we're conducting an investigation, I need you to pull up your social media. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so what could end up happening is your employer can terminate you. And what they're essentially doing is they are discriminating against you legally because you failed to follow a lawful directive by your employer. Your employer has to make that argument that they are conducting a lawful, a legal, criminal investigation, or an investigation on some workplace infraction that you committed. Okay, maybe you violated a company policy or something like that. They can require you. And if you don't cooperate, they can just terminate you. Okay? Perfect example is Officer Hensley. Officer Hensley, he's been quite the figure of attention lately on Reddit. I just think he likes the attention, right? His employer can actually call him in the office and say, Officer Hensley, I hear we received some information, some credible information that you are portraying yourself as so-and-so. That is in direct conflict with our core values of our security company, right? And again, I'm just kind of skipping ahead. Hey, I need you to go ahead and open up your social media, and we want to review what you have on there, because once again, we have credible information that maybe um, you've been making videos or you've been making posts on client property, um, and that's against our rules and regulations. You will not photograph yourself engaging in any activity on client property. Because you're doing that, that's a potential workplace infraction. Here's a photo that we have of you. Here's one. We want to look for some more. We have credible information, and obviously they need to disclose a little bit what the credible information is. That you are violating more further workplace. I'm sorry, more of our standards. And again, guys, I'm kind of just making up these words as we go on the fly. I wasn't prepared while I was driving to make some examples, but hopefully that will guide you to understanding, when they're able to do that. Okay, when they're able to require you. So, backtrack real quick. If you're going through a police background investigation, that background investigator cannot require you to divulge your username, your password. They cannot require you to open up your social media in their presence. And that also goes to private sector employment. Okay. They can only require you to disclose your social media accounts if there's a workplace infraction, a workplace investigation of you committing some type of a violation or some type of crime. Then they can require you. They can even terminate you if you don't cooperate. Now, you probably want to know the nitty-gritty. What really happens in real life. So, what I'm about to say, I don't think it's been said ever, like in any social media. It doesn't reflect like my future intentions. This is just speculation, right? Because usually, like where I work, a candidate can easily say, "Oh, well, you know what? Sean had some pre-existing thoughts already of how they are going to not approve me for hire where he works." It has nothing to do with that. Again, guys, this is just speculation. The way it would work is a department would say, "Hey, you know what? We want to hire Joe Smo." Okay, and that person would have a discussion with like another officer. Really, are you serious? You're gonna hire this person? Check this out. Go ahead and look at this. So this person would show you like screenshots because they befriended this person, and then you would see this candidate in compromising positions, right? Based on that, okay, you as a background investigator, now I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying this could potentially happen. That person would tell the chief, like, just show the picture to the chief before the investigation is even complete. And the chief is going to say, hell no, I'm not going to want this person. This person's a liability. Go ahead and process Mr. Jack Summers or something like that. Well, Jack Summers, it was going to be like the second or the third candidate to go through the background investigation process. So your packet is going to go all the way to the bottom, to the point where no background investigator is going to look at it. And in California, the background investigators don't have to state why you're disqualified. They just send a general disqualification letter. They don't put your background packet went all the way to the bottom and we're processing somebody else. That really happens. That's my speculation. Okay. Somebody asked me, because there's somebody in the adult industry that commented on one of the videos. Basically, I mean, look, you cannot require this person to disclose the adult website where this person is featured on videos, right? You can't do that. But what really happens is somebody else can find that video and then send it all the way up to the chain of command. Chain of command looks at it, says, you know what? I don't want that attention. I don't want to deal with sexual harassment issues if we hire this person. Now, obviously, that discussion is not going to be in writing, and Mrs. Jane Doe is going to go all the way to the bottom of the list. That's what I speculate will probably happen. That they're going to process somebody else. Oh, candidate number 20. You were not selected. That's what you're going to get in the mail or email. You have not been selected. And that other candidate who was at the bottom of the list goes all the way to the top because they don't want to pick this candidate. Okay. Let me just go through the comments real quick. Make sure I don't leave anybody out. Whoa, there's a lot. Yeah, Randy's here. Professional security journalist here with an axe. Oh, the hammer. Hey, David's here. Security guard command. JA's here. It looks sunny where you are at. It's 10:22 p.m. Wow. It's just the light. Look. Dust. Is it dust or dawn? Sunset in the desert. Oh, New York, Long Island. Nice. Honestly, I don't know what the rules and regulations are in New York, but I'm telling you, other states copy California. Florida and California like to copycat each other, but I can easily see New York also copycatting California. And what you could do is you can research the law. Like for California, the prevailing law is California Labor Code 980. You could kind of figure out what your Google search is going to be based on the reading of that labor code section. You could type in New York labor code and then type in employer access to social media, something like that. And that should get you around researching whether or not law enforcement can research social media. And guys, just clean up your accounts, please. Just clean them up. American Top Gunners here. I'm doing an application for a secret clearance now. Awesome. Security guard command ditches Facebook. David, by the way, guys, David from the Security Guard channel has like 1,000 subscribers more. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Check out the Professional Security Journals channel and check out Randy Nunez's channel as well. All of them are developing channels. He says, one thing I've always been concerned with is that all the laws in the world don't change human behavior. If a person wants to discriminate, they will discriminate. They will look for anything. Right? Mike says, since we're talking about DOD, that's Department, and all in the live chat, as a former FAA IA investigator under security contract, not even federal contracts can compel you for your socials. Interesting. It's interesting because in California, I don't think that you need a social security number. I mean, you can be an illegal immigrant, or illegal immigrant or undocumented person. Hopefully I'm using the right terminology. Off topic real quick. Did you guys know that in California, we cannot call a prisoner anymore? Or we can't call them a jailbird? I'm just kidding. We don't call them jailbirds. You have to call them an incarcerated person. An incarcerated person. Like, you can't call them a person anymore. Incarcerated person. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look, guys, on social media, you're posting something. Do you need to post it? I understand that posting pictures and videos is a way that you communicate frustrations to other people, but look at everything else. Like, look at the way that you are going to be perceived. That's just so important, okay? Stop, showing these dumb pictures to everybody. I mean, look, if you're not in law enforcement yet, you are you are trying to show an agency that you're a professional. If you're in private security and you are subscribed to this channel, you want to be a professional. Let's just say you want to be an instructor. You're gonna have all these dumb pictures of you on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Come on, it doesn't help professionalize you. It absolutely does not. Just think about what you post. I suggest that you guys, like, if you ever need a vent, and I've done tons of these like venting videos, you guys just haven't seen them. Because I don't press the public button. But if you need a vent, try it out. Go create your own YouTube channel and just do your vent, and then wait a couple of days. If you need to upload it. But most of the time, when I do those types of videos, I don't even upload them, because sometimes I'm embarrassed for myself. Like, what was I thinking? Because a lot of times when you're in a different emotional state, like you're not clearly thinking about what others will see on. So don't do that. I got really mad with the passing of Assembly Bill 1244 to the point where some people might like perceive me of being like aggressive. So I just deleted all those videos. Again, I'm not an aggressive person, peaceful person, and I deleted them. I certainly deleted them. Okay. Randy says hits published by mistake instantly canceled. Ha ha ha. Yeah, make sure you guys like know what you're doing, man, when you're when you're uploading this content, because I'm telling you, other people will see. Where I work at, there's like, I got like 7 subscribers, and they'll tell me, "Hey, Sean, I saw your video." Like, okay, cool, you saw my video. So I'm cognizant that whatever I say, the chief of police can have access, and actually he watches these videos too. I'm sure it's been a while since he hasn't watched them, but I'll put anybody on blast, guys. I mean, I'll change your name. I might change around some facts or some circumstances so it's not directly to you, but for me, it don't matter like who I put on blast. But I need to know, I need to understand that other people are certainly watching this. And one of the reasons why you don't want to just do a rant is some people will screenshot your videos. Like for me on Instagram, there's a couple of channels that I'm going to do some social media reviews, because I just don't like what they're doing. They're making us all look unprofessional. And they are going to end up, some of these videos they're going to delete, and they've done in the past. Their channel, I'm kind of hesitant on putting anything out there, but they look like they're the cartel security. You guys who follow me on Instagram know what I'm talking about. But they just give cartel vibes. They're wearing like ski masks, and they're protecting some of these musicians. It looks horrible. And then there's some like questionable weapons, and then they're doing these pat downs. They don't even have a PPO license. That stands for Private Patrol Operator license. They don't have it. And then, they're doing private security work, and they're advertising private security work. They're giving their cell phone number out. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And they're not even in compliance. And then they're wearing the Blackhawk Serpa holsters that's meant for concealed carry, but they're wearing it exposed. And I've done a video on the Blackhawk holsters the Serpa holsters that everybody likes to wear, that's in the private security community. I mean, I can get a fairly strong individual that will break that holster right off your belt. Matter of fact, I'll break that. I'm not the strongest person in the world, but I'll break that holster right off your belt. I'll rip it off. All right, guys. Randy's is canceled for dark military humor. That's another thing is, like, I got this bad sense of black humor. And then, like, 3 occasions, like, I published it. Those who saw my live stream saw it, and I'm thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, nobody Nobody understands. Not too many people understands like a law enforcement officer's perspective of things, or even a security officer's perspective, military guy's perspective. But I understand that, and I laugh at darkest situations as a way of relieving stress. But a lot of people don't understand that. Randy Nunez says, "Hammer the moderator, hit me up." So yeah, dude, guys. So I designated Mike, the Professional Security Journal, for being my moderator, because when there's a day when I had like 100 people watching, and most of them are trolls, meaning that there's another YouTube channel out there who picks in all the security channels. I mean, I've been called a wannabe cop, a fake trainer who doesn't have any experience, and then I've been called a fired cop, and a police impersonator. I'll go with that. I'll roll with those punches. You call me whatever you want. Real Joy says, Jesus is God and he loves you. Thank you. Yeah, there's guys with Dracos, right? University Security Training Solution channel, excellent channel. Make sure you guys follow him. He says Serpa is fine for the range. Common mounted to a plate carrier in the military, but it's secondary to a long rifle. So on that, being the range master supervisor, I will not allow a Serpa holster on the range. Unless that's your off-duty. I mean, if that's what you have off-duty, then that's fine. But not, like, you have to bring your duty belt. You have to be able to fight in what you wear. So what we do on our tactical unit, we have a different dress code. So what I do is I have the QLS fork system, and I just swap out holsters. So I have the same holster every single time. Okay. As for my duty belt arrangement, I try to arrange my equipment very similar, but the holster is very important. It's very important that you don't show up in a Serpa holster unless that's your duty holster, and we don't authorize a Serpa holster as your duty holster. If you want to carry it like concealed and shoot your leg off or whatever, I mean, I guess it's up to you. I don't know anybody that I work with that has a Serpa holster as their off-duty choice. But yes, I do see that maybe in the 2000s, military contracts, that Serpa holster. Again, guys, I think, I never been in the military, so correct me if I'm wrong. You're probably not as close to people who are going to kill you in the military. I think that your engagements are probably farther apart than in a law enforcement encounter where you're an arm distance away from being in an OIS. Again, I could be wrong, don't know, but again, it's just speculation. All right, guys, so I'm out of here. Watch the whole video if you want to know about whether or not your employer can look into your social media. Under what circumstances, if you're looking for work, can they require you to open up your social media? What do you guys think? I mean, have you guys seen some people in compromising positions and making bad choices, all documented on social media? Just something to think about. One last thing I forgot to talk about. So California Post, there's a memorandum that came out, and basically, if you have like a social media post of you being like, I don't know, drunk, like sleeping on the side of a toilet, something like that, you can post something like that as long as you're showing like maturity. So if you say, hey, this was me 7 years ago and I've been clean and sober and here's me now, smiling in a new picture, You can document the encounter as a like you could say that this person is mature, even though that they disclosed a compromising position, as long as they're able to show maturity. Like they can post that picture all they want. Why even post that picture in the beginning, right? If you're going through backgrounds or something like that. Oh my goodness. University security. He says off-duty range time, not duty qualification training. It's not meant for it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll agree to that. Whatever you do in your off-duty time, it's on you. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Take care. 120 viewers? Jeez. That would have been a lot of work for Mike from the Professional Security Journal, but we're shutting it off right now. All right, guys, take care.